Bharat Sankalp Yatra. Earlier, Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited the museum as well and paid floral tribute to Bhagwan Birsa Munda. Well, in one of his statements, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that I have reached Ranchi after memorable rallies and road shows in Madhya Pradesh, and on 15th of November, which is today, is a very special day, and I will have the privilege of joining the people of Jharkhand in the Janjati Gaurav Divas, celebrated on the birth anniversary of Lord Birsa Munda ji. I feel very proud to have got the opportunity to visit his birthplace, Ulihatu. This is what Prime Minister Narendra Modi posted on X, formerly known as Twitter, after reaching Ranchi on Tuesday. And during his visit, while I will flag off the Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra in Khunti, I will also inaugurate a historic scheme of rupees 24,000 crore for the welfare of tribal community. He also added this when he posted on X, formerly known as Twitter. Greeting the people of the state on Foundation Day, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that Jharkhand has been famous for its mineral resources, as well as the courage, bravery and self-respect of the tribal society. He also said that my family members here have made an important contribution to the progress of country. I convey my best wishes to him on the Foundation Day of the state and also wish for the bright future of the state. This is what he posted on X. The visuals which you are seeing right now on your screens is when Prime Minister Narendra Modi had visited the museum and paid floral tributes to Bhagwan Birsa Munda ji. He also posted and said many best wishes to my family members across the country on this special occasion of Janjatiya Gaurav Divas. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will soon participate in a program marking the celebration of 3rd Janjatiya Gaurav Divas 2023. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is on a 2-day visit to Jharkhand, and he will visit tribal icon Birsa Munda's birthplace in Khunti district on Wednesday, and will unveil a government scheme worth rupees 24,000 crore for the development of vulnerable tribal groups. The PM will first visit the Bhagwan Birsa Munda Memorial Park, come freedom fighter. He has visited it, and then will fly to Khunti district, where he will pay homage to the icon at his birthplace, Ulihatu village, and participate in a program marking the 3rd Janjatiya Gaurav Divas. The visuals which you are seeing right now on your screens, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is visiting the museum, and it's Bhagwan Birsa Munda Memorial Park cum Freedom Fighter Museum. He's having a tour of the museum, looking each and everything, and also that the culture which this museum portrays. He also paid floral tributes to Bhagwan Birsa Munda ji. He had earlier visited the museum, Bhagwan Birsa Munda Memorial Park cum Freedom Fighter Museum in the state capital, Ranchi. Right now he is paying floral tributes to Bhagwan Birsa Munda ji. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will launch the rupees 24,000 crore project aimed at the development of the particularly vulnerable tribal groups from there. And he will also launch the Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra and release the 15th installment of 18,000 crore under the PM Kisan scheme, and inaugurate and lay the foundation of projects worth rupees 7,200 crore in the state. On the occasion of Janjatiya Gaurav Divas, Prime Minister will launch Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra to ensure saturation of flagship government schemes. He will also launch Pradhan Mantri Particularly Vulnerable Tribal Groups Development Mission with a budget of around rupees 24,000 crore. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also release 15th installment amount of about rupees 18,000 crore under PM Kisan. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also inaugurate, dedicate to nation and lay the foundation stone of projects worth around rupees 7,200 crore in Jharkhand. Right now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Jharkhand. And today, he visited Bhagwan Birsa Munda Memorial Park cum Freedom Fighter Museum in Ranchi. The visuals which you are seeing right now on the screens is Prime Minister Narendra Modi visiting Bhagwan Birsa Munda Memorial Park cum Freedom Fighter Museum. That's in Ranchi. He's having a tour of the museum and also interacting with the officials. After this, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will reach Ulihatu village, the birthplace of Bhagwan Birsa Munda, where he will pay floral tribute at the statue of Bhagwan Birsa Munda. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has reached Ulihatu already. And he will be participating in a program marking the celebration of 3rd Janjatiya Gaurav Divas 2023. Here what you're seeing on the screen is Prime Minister Narendra Modi when he had a visit to Bhagwan Birsa Munda Memorial Park cum Freedom Fighter Museum in Ranchi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is already in Ulihatu village right now, the birthplace of Bhagwan Birsa Munda. He will pay floral tribute at the statue of Bhagwan Birsa Munda. Prime Minister Narendra Modi would be the first Prime Minister to visit Ulihatu village, the birthplace of Bhagwan Birsa Munda, and will participate in a program marking the celebration of 3rd Janjatiya Gaurav Divas 2023 in a short while. In Kunti, during the program, Prime Minister will launch Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra and Pradhan Mantri, particularly vulnerable tribal groups development mission. He will also release the 15th installment of PM Kisan and inaugurate, dedicate to nation and lay the foundation stone of multiple development projects in Jharkhand. Bhagwan Birsa Munda was a young freedom fighter and a tribal leader whose spirit of activism in the late 19th century is remembered to be a strong mark of protest against British rule in India. Born and raised in the tribal belt around Bihar and Jharkhand, Bhagwan Birsa Munda's achievements are known to be even more remarkable by virtue of the fact that he came to acquire them before he was 25. In recognition of his impact on the nationalist movement, the state of Jharkhand was created on his birth anniversary in 2000. These are the visuals from Ulihatu. Bhagwan Birsa Munda was born on November 15, 1875 and spent much of his childhood moving from one village to another with his parents. He was a young freedom fighter and a tribal leader whose spirit of activism in the late 19th century is remembered to be a strong mark of protest against British rule in India. These are the visuals you're watching on screens from Ulihatu. where Prime Minister Narendra Modi offering prayers to Bhagwan Birsa Munda. Well, the visuals which you are seeing right now on the screens is when Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Bhagwan Birsa Munda Memorial Park cum Freedom Fighter Museum earlier in the day. And as you can see, the Indian Prime Minister is offering floral tributes to Bhagwan Birsa Munda. Well, DD India correspondent Dibyendu Mondal joins us from Ranchi. Dibyendu, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has now reached Ulihatu. And what are the series of events? Could you just elaborate for us?
Well, Siddharth, we are at Ulihatu village, which is the birthplace of Lord Birsa Munda. The Prime Minister has just, in fact, left the village and he's on his way to Koti, where he will be addressing the mega rally. But let me tell you, the events, in fact, the series of events that have taken place here, while the Prime Minister was here for about 30 minutes, he had visited the birthplace of Lord Birsa Munda, where he was born, the ancestral and the ancestral home of Birsa Munda, in fact, where he was born. The Prime Minister spent about a couple of minutes with his family members. There were 7 members from his family with whom the Prime Minister has spoken. There were about 13 members from the community of Birsa Munda with whom the Prime Minister also met. Apart from this, the Prime Minister also met with 3 of the Panha, which is known as the priest of the religion, or in fact the follower of Birsa Munda. The Prime Minister also performed some puja at the temple, or in fact at the ancestral home, which is now converted into a temple in the Ulihatu village in Jharkhand. So from there, the Prime Minister had come to the statue, which is one of the tallest statue of Birsa Munda here at the Khunti district. He had paid floral tributes. Remember, Siddharth, today is also anniversary of Lord Birsa Munda, and also incidentally the foundation day for the state of Jharkhand. Today is also the day, in fact, because it is the birth anniversary of Birsa Munda, so this day is observed and celebrated as the day of tribal pride, the National Tribal Pride Day. So all in all, you know, the Prime Minister's, in fact, also it is in fact the first ever Prime Minister of India to visit this village, this ancestral village of Ulihatu, and we have been here since yesterday. We have been speaking to the people here, and you know, there was in fact a sense of excitement amongst the people that their village, their community is being recognized by someone like the Prime Minister himself. And the Prime Minister flew down from Indore last night after completing an election rally there to Jharkhand to come and pay tributes to the man who has, you know, led the tribal movement in Jharkhand and in India. Birsa Munda is also considered as one of the tallest of the tribal leaders here, and you know, just he lived on this earth for just 25 years. And in these 25 years, Birsa Munda contributed so much that, you know, people in this, not only in this, in his village, but also across the country, he's revered as a god, as in fact, people look up to him for all the movements that he has led for tribal rights, for also against the British oppression of the tribal community across India.
Well, definitely, and Dibyendu, we could see, you know, Prime Minister Narendra Modi earlier in the day visiting Bhagwan Birsa Munda Memorial Park cum Freedom Fighter Museum. He was carefully noticing everything. He was talking to the officials there, and you know, he was just wanting to know the culture which was there in the museum, the tribal culture, and he was noticing everything. Just tell us something about that on his visit to the Bhagwan Birsa Munda Memorial Park and Freedom Fighter Museum.
Well, Siddharth, in fact, he was there in the morning today, and it is a museum. In fact, it was a prison which has been converted into museum in just about 2.5 years, in fact 3 years back from now. This was the same prison where Birsa Munda sacrificed his life and breathed his last and spent his last days inside the prison, where he was arrested and kept in solitary confinement by the British. Who ruled India. So this, of course, is an emotional place, and it is an emotional place for the tribals, the Prime Minister visiting there and spending good amount of time learning about the culture, about the life and history of the tribal movement and that of Birsa Munda, is in fact an emotional gesture for all the people that believe in Birsa Munda and his philosophies and his life teachings. So the museum also depicts the tribal life, the tribal culture, the festivals of tribal communities across the country. So the Prime Minister, as you rightly said, was understanding the tribal culture. Remember, the Prime Minister also toured the country during his younger days and spent a significant amount of time with the tribal communities across the country. So he, in fact, has a very emotional connect with the tribal communities across the country. And him visiting the birthplace and the place where Birsa Munda attained martyrdom is significant enough. And on a day when it is celebrated as the National Tribal Pride Day, and on the birth anniversary of Birsa Munda, is significant and is likely to touch a chord amongst the tribal community across the country. Because, as I said, this is in fact the first time ever an Indian Prime Minister decided to visit the native village of Birsa Munda here in Jharkhand. Back to you.
Definitely. Dibyendu, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also launch Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra. Tell us something about that.
Well, the Prime Minister is expected to reach Khunti in another 15 to 20 minutes from now, where he will be addressing a mega rally, and he will be announcing several schemes from there. One particular scheme will be the particularly vulnerable tribal groups scheme, which is an outlay of about 24,000 crores, and he will be announcing. In fact, this scheme is about the development of the tribal communities who live in the far-flung areas across the country. This includes road connectivity, digital infrastructure, amongst other important aspects of this. The Viksit Bharat Yatra will also be launched from here, wherein the important schemes and the important decisions taken by the government over the last 9 years will be communicated to the people across the country, and there will also be several vehicles that will be launched from here that will be touring the country over the next couple of months.
Well, definitely. And Dibyendu, as far as the farmer welfare is concerned, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the 15 installment amount of about rupees 18,000 crores under the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi will be released through direct benefits transfer to more than 8 crore beneficiaries.
That's right, Siddharth. It is from this particular event where all these mega announcements will be taking place in a couple of minutes from now, when the Prime Minister reaches the Khunti event place, where he will be making all these decisions in the next couple of minutes.
Well, definitely. And, as you rightly said, as far as the welfare of the farmers is concerned, then various projects will be launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He will also dedicate to nation and lay the foundation of stone projects, Dibyendu, worth around rupees 7,200 crore in Jharkhand. Dibyendu, can you hear me? All right, we are trying to establish connection with our correspondent Dibyendu Mondal. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Jharkhand, and earlier he visited the Bhagwan Birsa Munda Memorial Park cum Freedom Fighter Museum in the state capital, Ranchi. Prime Minister Modi meets family members of great tribal leader Bhagwan Birsa Munda in Ulihatu. You can see the visuals on your screens. Prime Minister Narendra Modi meeting family members of great tribal leader Bhagwan Birsa Munda in Ulihatu. And as we were speaking to our correspondent Dibyendu Mondal, who was giving us a live report, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had an interaction with the family members of Bhagwan Birsa Munda for a couple of minutes, and then he left. And in the series of events, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will participate in a program marking the celebration of 3rd Janjatiya Gaurav Divas 2023 in a short while now. And after that, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also launch Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra and Pradhan Mantri, particularly vulnerable tribal groups mission. The shots you see on your screens, Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Ulihatu. And he also met the family members of great tribal leader Bhagwan Birsa Munda in Ulihatu. Our correspondent Dibyendu Mondal joins us again. Dibyendu, we were just talking about Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate and dedicate to nation and lay the foundation stone of projects worth around rupees 7,200 crore in Jharkhand. Tell us something about that.
Well, that's right, Siddharth. You know, there will be several projects that will be announced and inaugurated by the Prime Minister today, which includes also an extended campus of the IIM. Connectivity from Jharkhand to the neighboring states. These are some of the important rail, road, as well as educational institutions projects that are lined up to be inaugurated or announced by the Prime Minister in a couple of minutes from now. So these are mega announcements coming from the Prime Minister on the foundation day of Jharkhand, and also on an important day like that of the birth anniversary of Birsa Munda and the National Tribal Pride Day. So this all the schemes that will be announced today will benefit the tribal community, not only in Jharkhand, but also across the country. So a clear message, in fact, for the development and for the benefit of the tribal community, which has for years been ignored or not brought into the mainstream by the previous leaders of governments over the years.
Definitely, and stay with us, Dibyendu. For our viewers, we would like to tell about who was Lord Birsa Munda. Lord Birsa Munda was a young freedom fighter and a tribal leader whose spirit of activism in the late 19th century is remembered to be a strong mark of protest against British rule in India. Born and raised in the tribal belt around Bihar and Jharkhand, Lord Birsa Munda's achievements are known to be even more remarkable by virtue of the fact that he came to acquire them before he was just 25. And in recognition of his impact on the nationalist movement, the state of Jharkhand was created on his birth anniversary in 2000. Born on November 15, 1875, Lord Birsa spent much of his childhood moving from one village to another with his parents, and he belonged to the Munda tribe in the Chota Nagpur Plateau area. He received his early education at Salga under the guidance of his teacher, Jayapal Nag, and on the recommendation of Jayapal Nag, Lord Birsa converted to Lord Birsa Munda was a young freedom fighter and a tribal leader. whose spirit of activism in the late 19th century is remembered to be a strong mark of protest against British rule in India. Our correspondent Dibyendu Mandal is with us. The Dibyendu, and in a major step towards attainment of this aim of saturation of schemes, Indian Prime Minister will launch Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra, as we were talking on the occasion of Janjatiya Gaurav Divas.
Well, that's right. The Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra will be inaugurated or will be launched from here in Jharkhand today by the Prime Minister. And the Prime Minister will, this yatra is perhaps a yatra where the message of the schemes, the developmental schemes of the government will be taken to the doorstep of the people, so that anybody who has been left out from the welfare schemes of the government get a chance to get themselves registered, and they do not have to go to offices and stand in queues to get themselves the scheme and benefits of the government scheme. So there will be vehicles and officers that will be traveling in this yatra, perhaps, where these vehicles will be going to the doorstep and to the doorstep of communities and localities across the country, so that people can register themselves and get the benefit of the various central government schemes that have been announced over the last few years. In fact, over the last 9 years. So this, in fact, is an attempt to bring everybody who has been left out from the mainstream into the mainstream and give everybody equal benefit of all the government schemes that are available for people across the country.
Well, definitely. And greeting the people of the state and the Foundation Day, Prime Minister Modi said that Jharkhand has been famous for its mineral resources as well as the courage, bravery and self-respect of the tribal society. The schemes which will be launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi today will be of great help for the entire tribal community, like you said, Dibyendu. And also the projects which he will be launching will be of great benefits for tribal community, not just in that state, but across the country as well. He will also inaugurate and dedicate to nation and lay the foundation of stone projects worth around rupees 7,200 crore in Jharkhand. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also launch Pradhan Mantri, particularly vulnerable tribal groups development mission, with a budget of around rupees 24,000 crore. And like you were rightly saying, Dibyendu, that this will certainly help the entire tribal community, not just in the state, but also across the country. And there are various projects that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be launching today from Khunti. Dibyendu, another example of commitment of Prime Minister Narendra Modi towards the welfare of farmers is the 15th installment amount of about rupees 18,000 crores under the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi, and it will be released through direct benefits transfer to more than 8 crore beneficiaries. Goes on to show that how beneficial this scheme will be for the farmers and how much Prime Minister Modi is thinking about the farmers in the country.
Well, absolutely right, Siddharth. You rightly said that, 18,000 crores will be released today itself by the Prime Minister. And this scheme covers all the farmers across the country who will be directly benefiting from the PM Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana. And this scheme has been going on for quite some time, and this has received immense applause from the farmers community across the country, because remember, this scheme aims to give direct monetary benefit to the farming community. And remember, India has one of the largest of the farmer community across the world. Yeah. India is still mostly an agrarian society where many people still live or make their livelihood out of farming. So this direct transfer of the cash amount into their bank account under this PM Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana is something that the Kisans or the farmers across the country have applauded over the last couple of years. So the 15th installment release on a day as such as the birth anniversary of Birsa Munda, and that too from his home state Jharkhand, will go down well amongst the farming community across the country.
Well, definitely. And talking about Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra, Divyendu, the focus of the yatra will certainly be on reaching out to people and create awareness and providing benefits of welfare schemes, like sanitation facilities, essential financial services, electricity connections, and also access to LPG cylinders, which is also a great gesture of clean fuel, which is being provided by the Indian Prime Minister, and housing for the poor as well, food security, also a very important aspect, proper nutrition as well, reliable healthcare. All these factors are certainly included, and this is the main motive of Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra, Divyendu.
Well, that's right, Siddharth. You have completely walked through the yatra schemes that will be covered under this yatra. As you have rightly said, this yatra aims to target the people who have been left out from the mainstream, and an attempt is being made by the government to bring them into the mainstream so that nobody is left out from the benefit of the central government schemes or the central government sponsored schemes, as I rightly said, about food security, nutrition, health benefits, electricity connections, LPG cylinders, drinking water, sanitation. All these aspects will be taken care of, and people who have been left out as the vehicle will be touring across the country. Eligible beneficiaries will be identified by the officials of the government, and nobody has to go to the office and stand in queue for hours to get themselves enrolled for these schemes. The government is coming directly to your doorstep, and the government will ensure that you get all the benefits of the schemes of the central government right at your doorstep, sitting at home. All the paperwork, all the formalities will be taken care of by the officials who will be touring in this yatra and coming to the localities and to the doorstep of the people in every village, every block and every district of the country over the next couple of months.
Well, certainly it's a noble initiative by the Prime Minister, by the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And also, Divyendu, it's a very important topic to discuss about, people having access to the LPG cylinders. It's a clean cooking fuel, and the government of India is putting all its efforts to provide the LPG connections to every household in the country and save them from the toxic emissions that come out from other sources through which they cook their food. And for that, various schemes have also been launched, like Ujjwala Yojana and Ujjwala Yojana 2.0. They will do to provide clean cooking fuels to every household in the country. The government is making every effort, to provide clean cooking fuels to all the households in the country. Various schemes, like I said, Ujjwala Yojana 2.0 has been launched by the government so that people save themselves from the toxic emissions that come out from other fuel which they use for cooking.
That's right, Siddharth. Ujjwala Yojana was one of the first flagship scheme of the Modi government back in 2014. The Prime Minister had committed, was committed to ensure that every woman in every household of India is liberated from exposing themselves to toxic fumes, and to provide them with clean cooking fuel, and so that they do not get themselves sick over time. So this is in fact one of the schemes that have gone down exceptionally well amongst the people, among especially the women of this country who have stood by the Prime over the last couple of years, which is also, in fact, a noble gesture of the Prime Minister to think about the women of this country who were perhaps ignored for decades before this, and to think about them, and to think how they could get rid of these toxic fumes, and to give them clean cooking gas, that too under the scheme of the government is something that that has gone down exceptionally well amongst the women of this country.
Well, definitely, this is certainly a noble gesture by the Indian Prime Minister to provide clean cooking fuel to all the women in the country. And as he promised also, and he said also in the G20 summit, which recently concluded, that this is a nation of women-led development, not just women empowerment. We are doing it, but we are a nation with women-led development. Divendu.
That's right, Siddharth. Absolutely right. In our G20, and in fact, since moving from development for women to women-led development. So this is, in fact, a change of how, changes the idea of how it is perceived as to bring women into the center of politics. Remember, the Women Reservation Bill has also been passed in Parliament, perhaps which was stuck for decades. To do something which many political parties could not do it, but the commitment shown by this Prime Minister and by this government is something that has to be applauded, and that has gone down exceptionally well, as I said, amongst the women community. So this government believes in development led by the women and not development for the women. So it is that the women should lead from the front for the development of this country.
Well, certainly women are leading the nation from the front right now, Dibendu. This is the era where women are, excelling in every field, be it sports, be it defense, or be it in the field of medicine. Women are doing exceptionally well.
Siddharth, I lost you in between. If you could please come back with the question.
Well, definitely, it wasn't a question, Dibendu. It was a statement, and it was a very strong statement that women are leading from the front in the country, in India, be it any field, be it defense, be it sports, be it medicine, or be it engineering. Women are leading from the front.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. You see, when our Olympic team or our women's hockey team, or for that matter, a women's cricket team, all have been doing wonders in their respective field, as you have rightly said. Even in the defense sector, women have been taking a lead, even in sectors which were earlier considered to be only dominated by women. So giving space to women to come and excel and to prove their mettle in sectors which were earlier dominated by women, and to make opportunities and give them opportunities in this sector to excel is something that is a matter of policy, and which has been rightly taken up by this government.
Definitely. And for the viewers who've just joined us, the Janjatiya Gaurav Divas is celebrated every year to recognize the efforts of tribals in the preservation of cultural heritage and promotion of Indian values of national pride, valor and hospitality. Well, Dibendu, please tell us once again, for the viewers who've just joined us, about the series of events today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will release 15th installment amount of about rupees 18,000 crores under PM Kisan, and he'll also inaugurate and dedicate to nation and lay the foundation stone of projects worth around rupees 7,200 crore in Jharkhand.
Well, the Prime Minister today is on a tour to the birthplace of Lord Birsa Munda in his native village of Ulihatu, which is about 50 kilometers from the capital city of Ranchi. The Prime Minister has departed a while back from the native village after meeting the family members and paying floral tributes to Birsa Munda here at Ulihatu village in the Khunti district of Jharkhand. Also, the Prime Minister is going to address a mega rally at the Khunti district just beside the Birsa Munda College at the stadium in in the Khunti district of Jharkhand, from where he will be announcing mega schemes, as you said, about the PM Kisan Samman Nidhi 15th installment.
Correct.
He will also be launching the the Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra. He will also be announcing mega schemes for the development and welfare of the tribal communities. He's also expected to launch several other schemes of the central government and the development schemes, which includes better road and rail connectivity from Jharkhand to the other neighboring states, so that the development of the state for the betterment and development of the state, and to connect the tribal communities with the mainland, with the mainstream people of the country. So these are some of the mega announcements which will be coming up very soon. The Prime Minister is also expected to reach Khunti in another couple of minutes from now. He has departed from the Ulihatu village, where we are currently, about 20 minutes back. He is expected to land there in any moment from now on. He will also be visiting an exhibition which has been put up by the tribal department of the Jharkhand government, and also by the Government of Tribal Affairs, Government of India, which will showcase unique products made by the tribal community. So this, after touring this exhibition, the Prime Minister, let me also tell you that the exhibition will also showcase different unique products from different districts of Jharkhand under the One District, One Product scheme of the government. And after this, the Prime Minister will be moving to the rally rally venue, which is about 50 meters from the exhibition ground. So from there, the Prime Minister will address and talk to the tribal communities who have already gathered in huge numbers. We have been seeing since morning that people from across several areas of Jharkhand were lining up and queuing up to hear and see the Prime Minister, who will talk to them, who will announce several schemes on the birth anniversary of their God, of their Lord Birsa Munda, and also on the day of the foundation day of the state of Jharkhand. So it is in fact a very emotional, exceptional moment for the tribal community, not only in Jharkhand but also across the country. Back to you.
Definitely, Dibyendu, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid homage to tribal icon Lord Birsa Munda in Ranchi on his birth anniversary. He paid floral tributes to the 25-foot tall statue of the icon at the Bhagwan Birsa Munda Memorial Park cum Freedom Fighter Museum, situated at the old Central Jail, where he had breathed his last on June 9, 1900. Birsa Munda's birth anniversary celebrated across the country as the Janjatiya Gaurav Divas. Respectful tribute to Bhagwan Birsa Munda on his birth anniversary. Many best wishes to my family members across the country on this special occasion of Janjatiya Gaurav Divas. Prime Minister Narendra Modi posted this on X, formerly known as Twitter. During his visit to the museum, the Prime Minister was accompanied by Chief Minister Hemant Soren, Governor C.P. Radhakrishnan and Union Minister Arjun Munda. He took a round of the museum that demonstrates the way tribals struggle to protect their forests, land rights and culture, besides their valor and sacrifices. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also talked to the officials who was present there and took a tour of the museum. Along with the Birsa Munda, the museum also showcases contributions of tribal freedom fighters such as Budhu Bhagat, Sidhu Kanhu, Nilambar Pitambar, Devakisan, Telanga Khadia, Gaya Munda, Jatra Bhagat, Poto H, Bhagirat Manji and Ganga Narayan Singh. The memorial park has been developed on adjacent 25-acre land, and it has a musical fountain, children's park, infinity pool, garden and other entertainment facilities. And as you can see on your screens, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is noticing everything very carefully in the museum. He also paid floral tributes to Bhagwan Birsa Munda. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is on a 2-day visit to Jharkhand. Later in the day, he will visit and he will launch various schemes and projects in the state, which will be beneficial for the entire tribal community, as a correspondent Divyendu Mondal was telling us. Well, these are the latest visuals we have got for you. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has reached Kunti now, and he will participate in a program marking the celebration of 3rd Janjatiya Gaurav Divas 2023. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also launch a rupees 24,000 crore project aimed at the development of the particularly vulnerable tribal groups. He will also launch the Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra, release the 15th installment of rupees 18,000 crore under the PM Kisan scheme, and inaugurate and lay the foundation of projects worth rupees 7,200 crore in the state. As you can see, these are the latest visuals. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has reached Kunti, and wherein he is greeting the people who have put up their stalls. The latest visuals that we are getting for you. Prime Minister Narendra Modi greeting the people who have put up their stalls with traditional Indian namaskar. The latest visual that you are watching on your screens. He is also very much interested in knowing the tribal culture, and he is talking to people who have put up their stalls and asking about how things are done. And he seems very much interested in knowing the tribal culture, as he's in Jharkhand to launch various projects. And also earlier, Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid homage to tribal icon Bhagwan Birsa Munda in Ranchi on his birth anniversary. He also paid floral tributes to the 25-foot tall statue of the icon at the Bhagwan Birsa Munda Memorial Park cum Freedom Fighter Museum, situated at the old Central Jail, where he had breathed his last on June 9, 1900. And on your screens are the latest visuals. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Kunti right now, greeting people who have put up their stalls, and also seems pretty much interested in knowing the tribal culture. He will launch certain various schemes which will be beneficial for the entire tribal community, not just in the state, but across the country. Here you can see he's interacted with a woman and asking her about how the tribal culture is there in the state. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be launching series of projects here in Jharkhand, which will be beneficial for the entire tribal community. And he is the first Prime Minister to visit Ulihatu village, the birthplace of Bhagwan Birsa Munda. On the occasion of Janjatiya Gaurav Divas, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will launch Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra to ensure saturation of flagship government schemes. He will also launch Pradhan Mantri, particularly vulnerable tribal groups development mission, with a budget of around rupees 24,000 crore. And he will also release 15th installment amount of about rupees 18,000 crores under PM Kisan. That goes on to show that how much the Prime Minister is thinking about the welfare of farmers in the country. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also inaugurate, dedicate, donation and lay the foundation stone of projects worth around rupees 7,200 crore in Jharkhand. These are the visuals you can see on your screens. These are the latest visuals. Prime Minister Narendra Modi greeting people who have put up their stalls and also interacting with people, knowing the tribal culture. He's also launching various projects which will be beneficial